So, hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Good morning. Today, we are diving into something really important for our futures, something that affects the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the even more our mental peace. So, can you guess what it is? Yes, it's urban biodiversity. So, today's one of the article is that based on that only, that is development without saving of our urban biodiversity. So, first of all, let me ask you one question. When was the last time you saw butterfly or bird sitting on your balcony? Guys, think about it. Now imagine what if our cities become so developed that this simple joy vanishes. That's exactly what today's editorial from the Hindu talks about. So let's break it down together. So what is first of all what is biodiversity? So biodiversity means all types of life on the earth. Okay, uh, from tiny insect to giant trees, it's a variety of life that keeps our planet alive and running. But guess what? One out of eight species today is at risk of extinction. That's very scary. So on May 22, every year we observe the International Day for Biological Diversity. The year's theme was harmony with nature for sustainable development. Okay. Now, I have one question for you. Do you think our cities are in harmony with the nature right now? Drop yes or no in the comment section. So, another question would be what's the issue with our cities right now? Today's almost half of the world lives in a city, and by 2050, that number will reach 70 percentage. Okay, that is a green space in our urban sprawls. Now imagine that much pressure on land, water, trees, and air. That's where urban biodiversity is under threats. Why? Because unplanned development, greedy land use, pollution, deforestation. We keep building buildings, roads, malls, but we forget trees, lakes, and parks. So let me ask you one question. Do you have a park or green area within a 5 minutes of your house? If not, that's exactly the issue the editorial talks about. Why green spaces matters nowadays. Now here is a fun part. Trees are not just for the decorations, they are our silent superheroes. We have lots of health benefits. It actually trees are reduces or green spaces reduces the heat by 3 to 5 degrees Celsius, cleans airs, control noise pollutions, provide shade, food and peace of the mind. Also, we have economic benefits of having green spaces. Do you know trees in urban forest provide service worth rupees 8 crore per square kilometer? Yes, it's a rupees 8 crore per 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 square kilometer. The professor Edbugs from the New York calculated it. That's huge, right? That's why we must protect and expand our green spaces. So what do the number says? In India, the average green cover in city is only 10.82 percentage. Here is a quick look. The Mumbai has 25.43 percentage. It's a pretty good. Delhi and Hyderabad, New Delhi and Hyderabad has 12.6. Bangalore, Chennai, and Ahmedabad 6.85 percentage, and Ahmedabad is just 3.2 percentage. Anyway, the cities like Chennai and Hyderabad have lost forest cover in recent years. So, friends, are we developing or destroying? That's the question. So, what can be done? This editorial gives a smart solution too, which is very important. 30 300 rules. Reminder this. uh, 330 300 rules. Every home should be see at least every home should see at least three trees, 30% trees canopy in every neighborhood, a green park within 300 meters of your home. That is 330 300 rule. Sounds like a dream, not impossible. Some places are already doing it. Inspiring real examples we can see. In Chennai, a group turned a boring, empty land into the lush green patch with 25 birds, 25 bird species, 27 butterfly species, 45,000 square feet of greenery using the Miyawaki model. Have you heard of the Miyawaki forest method before? Type yes or no in the chat box. Also, the Care Earth Trust is working to the plant 10 lakh native trees at Guindi in Chennai. This kind of actions we need in every city, right? So what can you do? Plant trees in your society gardens or even terrace. Support roof and kitchen gardens, which is very important. Encourage your local leaders to save the lakes and ponds. Raise your voice when you see the trees being cut or lakes being filled. Push for the policies that include nature in urban planning. So what's one small thing you can do for biodiversity starting this week? Comment below, I would love to know. So what about the law and government says? The Supreme Court has won against destroying trees for infrastructure. Okay. Cities must follow long term planning that includes green cover and water bodies. Okay. Municipality like Greater Chennai Corporation could make it compulsory to plant 5 trees in a plots larger than 2,400 square feet. A smart idea, right? And you know what? This is not just a government job, it's our job too. Final thought. The friends, development is important, but not at a cost of nature. We don't want smart cities that makes people sick or tired. We want happy, healthy, and green cities that makes us proud. So let's move from the concrete jungle to the urban forest. So this was the articles about the green spaces in the cities. So coming to the second article, second editorial, overfishing the threat to the ocean wealth livelihoods. So what is the overfishing? First, let me ask you: have you ever heard the term overfishing? What do you think it means? Drop your answer in the chat box. Well, simply put, overfishing means catching too many fish too quickly before they have a chance to reproduce and refill the ocean. It's like a taking all the mangoes from the trees before the next season even comes. Eventually, no mangoes. Right? India's marine reality: India catches 3 to 4 million tons of fish every year. That's huge. That's huge. But here is a twist: 90% of the fishers are small scale, only 60% of total catch. Meanwhile, the big mechanized boats with the bigger nets take the rest. So let me ask you this: do you think that's fair? Should the small fishers who depend more on the sea gets less? And guess what? 70% of the fishers family in India are still below poverty line. So even with this fishing, they are struggling. The real problem is bycatch. Here, in fact, in one shrimp catching trip, for 1 kg of the shrimp, they dump 10 kg of other fishes. Other fishes are dead or half dead back into sea. This is called bycatch. Catching the wrong fish, especially babies, juvenile fish, and then throwing them away. This is dangerous because it reduces the number of fish who can grow and reproduce. It affects the whole food chain in the ocean. It kills the future chance of sustainable fishing. We will see the global example, that is warning signs. Let me take you abroad for a second. Canada's cod fishery collapsed in 1992. Due to the overfishing, it still has not fully recovered. Sardine industry collapsed twice, and millions of jobs were lost that time. Now I ask you: should India learn from these global disasters or wait until it happens to us too? Why India's law are weak? India has different fishing rules in each state. That means a fish ban in Tamil Nadu might be legal in Kerala. Unscrupulous peoples use this to sell baby fish across the border. This is like banning plastic in one city but allowing it in it to the next. So the article says, let's create one national law with catch limits, minimum fish size, fishing gear rules. close fishing seasons to allow the breeding. So, what is the solution? Let's now talk about the solutions, and I would love you for to type in a chat to hear the good idea. Learn from the New Zealand. They use a system called Quota Management System (QMS). Solutions to pursue. Okay, quota management system. Since 1986, they only allow fishing based on a science. How many fish are actually in the sea? India's Kerala model. After the Kerala introduced a minimum legal fish size, the catch went up to by 41% in just one season. Let me pause here and ask you one question. Do you think we should set a legal size for all fish in India? Will you be okay refusing to buy baby fish at the market? Comment in the comment section. uh, Control the fish meal industry. Right now, juvenile fish are ground into the powder and exported for animal feed. But this harms our future fish stock and our own food security. So we need to limit this industry. Release baby fish back to sea. Use leftover fish for a local breeding aquaculture. Okay. So action is needed at every level. Here is where you and I come here. The government must license the fishing boats wisely. Okay. Then second one is give subsidies for eco-friendly fishing. Then enforce the rules strictly. Then fisher folk cooperatives and village councils must protect marine areas. You as a consumer should ask where you fish came from, where your fish came from. Buy only sustainably caught fish. Say no to the baby fish. Let's make it people's movement just like we care for the trees and air. We should care for our oceans also. The final thought is today is not just another day. On International Day for Biological Diversity, let's promise to protect our ocean biodiversity, not just for the fishes, but all of us, for food, jobs, and planet's Earth. So tell me in the comment right now, what's one thing you will do differently after hearing this? Will you ask for bigger fish, educate someone in your family, talk about this in your school or office? Let's be the wave that protects our ocean, not just for today, but for every tomorrow. So this was about the uh, overfishing related articles. It was very really good articles. Then coming to the next article, Israel's isolations. Netanyahu must not allow to get away with a mass murder. Now, friends, this is a very sensitive and powerful editorial about what's happening in Gaza. So, stay with me till the end. I'll be asking your opinions too. So, first question for you all: have you been following the news about the Gaza and Israel? Yes or no? So, basically, what's happening there? Since March 18, since March 18, after the short ceasefire ended, Israel restarted heavy attacks on Gaza, an area where over 2 million Palestinians lives. Over 30,000 people, many of them civilians, women, and children, have been killed according to the Gaza Health Ministry. Israel is also blocking food, medicines, and aid. This has pushed thousands of people toward the starvation. Even Donald Trump, who's always supported Israel, mentioned this during his trip to the West Asia. He skipped visiting Israel. That's a clear signal he is not happy with what's happening. Okay. So what is the world saying? So here's come the turning point. Three big countries: France, France, and the UK are now saying enough is enough. They are pausing trade talks with Israel, calling the bombing of Gaza disproportionate, meaning the response is too extreme, saying the suffering in Gaza is unacceptable, even warning Israel of possible sanctions, economic punishment. So that's what the three big countries are saying about the Israel. So what do you think? Should countries stop trade and support if the civilians are dying in such a large numbers? Type yes or no in the chat box. So what is the Netanyahu saying? Mr. Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, says Israel is only targeting Hamas operatives, terrorists who attack on October 7, 2023. He wants to take back full military control of the Gaza, which Israel left in 2005. He is not stopping the war until there is a total victory. But critics says the war is not really achieving that. Hostages are still not all rescued. Hamas is not wiped out, but thousands of innocent people are dying. So what are the world leaders asking for? They are saying stop this mass killing, don't evict all Palestinians from the Gaza. Let's go back to discussing a two-state solution, meaning both Israel and Palestine should be allowed to exist peacefully side by side. There's going to be a United Nations conference in June to discuss on this. So what about India? Here is something interesting. India has not said anything yet. That is silence. Why? Possibly because India is focused on its own problems with Pakistan and is India strongly during the Operation Sindur, a military action. But the editor says no connections between the two. Just because Israel help us doesn't mean we should ignore what's happening to innocent people elsewhere. So let me ask you all this. Should India speak up when human rights are violated, even if it's by our friend country? Drop your answers. So final thoughts from these editorials. This is not just about the war, this is about civilian suffering, children starving, no clear goal in sight. The editor also says that Mr. Netanyahu is framing it as a civilizations versus barbarism. But the world is starting to feel it's not civilization to bomb helpless people. So, my dear viewers, we are at a turning point in the world history. The editor clearly says Netanyahu must not allow to get away with mass murder. We must all stand for humanity, justice, and peace, no matter where we live. So now it's your turn. Do you believe the world should unite and pressure leaders who are causing such destructions? And more importantly, should ordinary people like us raise our voices online in schools, offices, and homes? Let's discuss. So this was very good articles about this Israel. Then last editorial is stories from the hurt. Banus Booker will help regional languages gain global recognition. So before going to this editorial, I would like to ask you one question. Have you ever read a book in your mother tongue that touched your heart deeply? So comment below with the name of that book or the language it was in. So what happened? A big moment for Indian literature and for the Kannada language. Banu Mushtaq won the International Booker Prize 2024 for her short story collection Heart Lamb. And guess what? It's the first time in Kannada book has won this award. Also, the first time ever a collection of short stories won the Booker. She didn't win alone. Her translator Deepa Bashi also got the award because in translation, the translator brings the soul of the book into the another language. So, guys, let me ask you this: do you think regional languages like Kannada, Marathi, Tamil, etc., should get more international recognition? Type yes in the chat if you are agree. Who is a Banu Mashtak? She is a 77-year-old writer, lawyer, and activist from the Hassan in Karnataka. Her stories talk about Muslim women and their everyday struggles, clueless husbands, playful children, strict grandmothers, and how religion, society, and politics often treat women unfairly. But what makes her story special is that she writes them with honesty and humor. Even though the subjects are very emotional, why is this important? Banu said in her speech, words can create a world where every voice is heard, every story matters, and every person belongs. Isn't that beautiful? She also said that writing in Kannada means writing in a cosmic wonder and earthly wisdom. Have you ever tried writing a poem or story in your regional languages? Tell us in the comment sections what language would you write in. Why is this win historic? Let's recap. First Kannada book to win Booker. First short story collections to win. First win for many unheard women's voice. Give platform to regional stories, local emotions, and everyday characters. And it's not just about Banu Mushtaq. Earlier, Gitanjali Shri won the Tomb of Sand. Tomb of Sand. Tomb of Sand. Writers like a Perumal Murugan Tamil, Bama Jayan Kaikini Kannada, and M. Mukundan Malayalam are also bringing India's soul to the world. These authors tells us what's happening in a small towns among the ordinary people in a real, raw, and emotional way. What does this mean for the India? It means the world is listening now. They are reading our languages, our stories, and understanding our culture. But for that to continue, we need to more good translations, more support for local writers, and more love for Indian languages. So tell me, do you think schools and colleges should teach more literatures in the regional languages? Let's see your thoughts in the chat box. So, final thought Banu said this in her speech literature is one of the large sacred spaces where we can live inside each other's minds, if only for the few pages. That's the magic of the books. They break borders, they connect heart, and Banu's Heartland is doing exactly that. So, next time you pick a book, maybe try one in your mother tongue, you might discover your own story inside. Wrap up To wrap up, comment below which Indian language do you want to see win the next Booker Prize. And guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this live editor breakdown if you found it inspiring. This is Dhananjay signing off with a heart full of stories because every voice deserves to be heard. So, thank you. Bye bye. Have a nice day.